Hi everyone. So I decided to take part of the day off and go for a motorcycle ride. I had initially thought, hey, maybe I could do like in-helmet commentary video, and I thought, yeah, it'd be too much shock of God. I'd feel creepy doing that. I might have to take a shower afterwards or something. So I just rode my enduro up into the bush a little bit and thought I'd make a video up here. I've got my camera, my phone, balanced on my helmet right now, so that's why it's a little bit canted. You'll have to forgive that. Maybe if I stand at an angle, that'll help. There's also a bunch of flies and horse flies up here, so if you see me swatting, that's why. Further to the dogma debate, with the confrontation between Cy ten Bruggencate and Aaron Ra, I had a couple of other observations. Nothing too serious, but just a couple of things I was thinking about. And the first is, Aaron Ra really opened up a can of worms for Cy by getting him to sort of finally come out and say pretty definitively that his revelation from God is Scripture. He's sort of been a little bit vague about that in the past. People have sometimes asked, well, what is this way you can know for certain? And he'll say, well, there's lots of ways, but one is Scripture. Well, really, it is Scripture. I think we've had that revealed now. And that poses a lot of problems for Cy, of course, because even if we were to accept the Bible as authentic, there are many, many different interpretations of the Bible. So Cy would then have to somehow justify that his interpretation is, in fact, the correct one. There's a great video on the online philosopher Stefan Molyneux's channel, and I've tried to find it and I can't. He's got thousands of videos, so it's hard to find the exact video. But what he does is he talks a little bit about the Bible and how well written it really was. In terms of appeal, as a tool of control, it's great because it appeals to just about anyone. If you are someone who believes in ultimate authorities and absolute obedience and fire and brimstone and hellfire and damnation, especially if you're a slave owner, then there's something in there for you. If you are more meek and you are you believe in more lovey-dovey stuff and you feel powerless maybe, so there's lots of the love thy neighbor, but even love thine enemies, that sort of thing, then there's something in there for you, of course, and everything in between. So there's nearly as many interpretations of the Bible as there are believers, essentially. And that's why you have so many different sects with so many widely ranging belief sets from what should be the same scriptural source. So you've got everything from the lovey-dovey type sects to the Westboro Baptist Church, Thank God for Dead Soldiers, and beyond. And, Cy would say, if you were to talk to him about that, he would say, well, I'd love to debate, these people sort of thing. But he really can't, because when it comes down to it, really what we're talking about is assertions and interpretations. So if he were to, say, debate, another Christian who believes differently than him, all he could do is say, well, here's where you're wrong, and open up his can of special pleading and say, here's why. And the other person is going to do the exact same thing. And they're going to leave still believing that the other is in error. I mean, there's even sects, there's a YouTube channel, if I can find it, I'll link it below, of people who say that the Bible is the mark of the beast. And they have all their justifications as to why that is. And I'm sure if they had a debate with Cy, they could be in there for 5 hours and still both leave thinking the other person is going to hell, etc., etc. So that's a real serious problem, obviously, for Cy. It's no different actually than interpreting the Bible to reconcile areas of the Bible that conflict with scientific findings, right? And so, as I've discussed before about geocentrism, you're going to have several camps within the Christian community. One camp is going to say, no, we know heliocentrism is how things are. It's been scientifically proven. You're misinterpreting the Bible when you say that was meant to be some sort of a literal translation that the earth doesn't move. And then the other camp is going to say, no, the Bible said the earth don't move, and it's false science, and they're lying to you, and it's a huge conspiracy that the earth does rotate or revolve around the sun. And so it's the same sort of interpretations that are involved in reconciling those issues as are going to be involved in reconciling the differences between the different sects in Christianity. And you just can't get there from here. I mean, that's why there's just so much disagreement on those topics. But that is a problem for Sai, because again, even if we were to allow or to say that the Bible is authentic, he would have to justify why his particular sect or his particular belief is the valid one. And in the video series I'm about to do with Dan Courtney in the informal talk he had with Sai, he even talks about differences in the presuppositional camp. So even within their own tiny little sliver of the Christian community, they can't agree with each other. So I think that's a real issue. The other thing I wanted to bring up is the even if. So I've been saying even if we accepted the Bible as authentic. Aaron Ra had said during the Magic Sandwich Show, even if we were a brain in a vat. And from that point, Eric Hovind and Cy ten Bergencate have been running off at the mouth saying, oh, he said we could be a brain in a vat. He doesn't even know that we're not a brain in a vat. And it came up again on the Dogma Debate. And once again, Aaron Ra had to set him straight. And this goes back to what I was talking about before with theists and honesty and argumentation. It would be nice if once someone had clarified something or once an argument was shown to be fallacious, if people would stop using it. And I think it's disingenuous to continue doing so. Now, Cy did apologize on the Dogma Debate, but this was made clear to him during the Magic Sandwich Show. And I just think it's sort of more of the same. So anyway, I really just wanted to come out in the bush and ramble instead of doing any honest work today. I'm going to probably jump on my bike and head back home and see how many phone messages there are and how much work I've got to scramble to get done tomorrow. But at any rate, hope everyone has a good afternoon. Thanks for watching. Well, as predicted, I've had a really rough day in the shop today, trying to get everything done that I didn't do yesterday. But I did want to put an addendum to this video. I've been thinking a little bit more about some of the discussions that have been going on, and I listened to a few videos yesterday of Eric Hovind. I can't remember if it was on Slaves for Christ or if it was on Creation Today, but Eric Hovind talking to some people at the Reason Rally. I think that one atheist guy with the Pope hat, maybe, I'm not sure, a couple of them anyway. And I just came to the conclusion that, you just can't talk to these guys. Or you couldn't have like a normal conversation. Even I've had discussions with people who do have differing views from mine, but we could do it on a personal level, and we could wax philosophical about all different kinds of things and end the conversation agreeing to disagree, but sort of feeling like we'd all been heard. But when you're talking to a presuppositional apologist, all they're doing the entire time when you're talking is they're trying to figure out how they can redirect the conversation back where they want it and how they can put in their next interjection of their canned lines like little robots. And you're not being listened to when you're talking and the whole time the other person is figuring out how they can throw a crowbar into things. So just a little observation there. But I was listening to the Dogma Debate talk again, and I really do find it quite interesting. And while I was on the channel, I noticed a comment that someone had left. And if you haven't seen this comment, it's really, really worth a read. I'll read it for you now and take it for what it is. James Raitano is the person who left the comment, and it goes like this. I absolutely love Presup. I cannot wait until we are no longer hindered as a species by immature superstitions, and the desperation dripping from such vapid nonsense is surely a sign that religion is at worst on the decline and at best on its death throes. God has been relegated to the domain of shitty philosophy. I'm so excited for and envious of my children's children. And I think he hit the nail on the head. I couldn't have said it better myself. Really, the presuppositional apologetic is the best thing that could have happened to the discussion. Really, having read that comment, I realize my work here is done. Yahoo! Bye, son! You still there? Thanks for watching.